My name is Jacqueline Ethier, and I work at the Pilates Space. I'm co-owner here, and I direct the studio, and I teach Pilates for a living. Pilates is the name of a man. His name was Joseph Pilates, and his wife Clara, and they devised this system of movement known as body contrology. That's what they called it, and then we came to know it as Pilates. But what is it? It's a type of movement practice that's functional in the sense that it moves our body in various different ways, in the ways that we need to use it in life. And so there's a big focus on the spine and how it moves. There's a big focus on working our core area. We all hear that word, but taking that into the work of Ron Fletcher, and that does differentiate us as Fletcher Pilates teachers in this space. We do work with equipment, and that gives us some resistance training. But we work the spine in all sorts of different ways. We work our fingers, we work our toes, we work our neck and our focus. As a Pilates teacher, I get to teach clients of various ages and fitness backgrounds. So I get to teach them how to move better in their body with the help of the Pilates method and other forms of movement that we use. As a studio director, I take care of classes and sort of keeping my team together, so we're teaching sort of in a cohesive manner and taking care of other scheduling things on the side. In a typical day, I email, I organize, I plan, I delegate, and on the teaching side, I move in my own body to stay fit, and I teach, and I plan for future classes. My day starts at home with my young family, and once they're off at school, then I immediately get to the computer and send out emails as needed and reply to emails, take care of scheduling. I also run teacher training and other workshops, so there's always some planning going on in that regard. Once that sort of administrative stuff is set aside, then I either move a little bit at home to start, or depending on my day, I'll come into the studio and either move around on the roller a little bit, do some Fletcher towel work. I may teach 2 or 3 classes in a row, as we say, so sort of like a 10, 11, 12. We're busy around lunch hour, so I might sneak in lunch in between my sort of afternoon few classes. And then we have to document our classes, and I think ahead to what I have done and what I'd like to do the next week with my clients. So I make some notes about that. If there's anything, like a deadline or planning a newsletter or doing something on social media, then sometimes that's left till the end of the day, maybe once my children are in bed, and I gather forces with my husband, who co-owns the studio with me, and so we need some time to discuss things and organize things together. My background is as a dancer. I danced growing up, and I learned about Pilates in a dance training program post-secondary. And so I graduated from the School of Dance Contemporary Dance program here in Ottawa, and I began my career as a professional dancer, but understood that that perhaps wasn't so stable. I pursued a year of teacher training in the Pilates method, which is very complementary to dance. And so I sort of juggled the two. In Ottawa, the Pilates industry, it's still very small, but it was very much in its infancy. And I had the opportunity to rent out a space within a gym setting, and that's how I started the business. I remember thinking at the time that it was a bit daunting to become self-employed and embark on that journey. So I sort of convinced myself that I was just renting space and I wasn't sure where it would go as I was still dancing. But it has very organically grown and expanded, and I have a great group of teachers now. We're continuing to study and learn other methods of movement which complement this work. I studied Fletcher Pilates with Ron Fletcher, who's a disciple of Joe and Clara Pilates. And so that sort of took the studio and the teaching to another level, to sort of have that connection to the roots of it. What skills or tools do I use in my work? Organization, creativity, sense of humor, being present in the moment. We plan classes, but we're dealing with people live in the moment who step into the studio, and so we need to be intuitive also in how we're teaching. And then more on the education side of things, you know, our knowledge of anatomy and the way the body moves, and currently in new science, learning about fascia and other interesting things. I would say the career as a Pilates teacher is one that demands a lot of work. Teaching seriously takes a lot of time and energy, but it is very rewarding. Depending on the city that you live in and the industry of Pilates in that city, you may be able to do this work 100% full-time. Many teachers enjoy this as a complementary work to, I mean, it can range from a dancer who teaches dance and teaches this also because the modalities are very complementary, and other people who excel more in the, you know, technology side of things, or, you know, someone with your sort of average day job, you might consider that they would also really enjoy being in their body, and so they enjoy this as sort of a, you know, a part-time work or part-time career. On the studio side of things, because I grew up with parents who were self-employed, I didn't go to school for business management. I never sort of thought that I might own a studio. But as I see myself down, you know, the road now, and I can reflect on the lessons that I learned from them in terms of, you know, treating people fairly, offering a service that's really of quality, and those sorts of things I think differentiate me in terms of a studio owner and how I treat my clients and how I work with my team.
Thanks for watching our video. If there's a career that you want to learn about, comment below. And while you're there, hit like and subscribe so that you can get even more career inspiration. See you next time.